Good evening. My name is Miguel Solis, and I serve as president of the Dallas Independent School District Board of Trustees. And I'm not going to lie, that is extremely hard to follow. They brought me on actually to let you know whether we would have school or not tomorrow, and that was really it. When I think about equity and what we are doing as a school system and what we are doing as a community, I first have to take a step back from the numbers and the data and put a face to the statistics. I came to Dallas ISD in 2009 as an 8th grade U.S. history teacher. And if you were to ask me to tell you about that year, I couldn't tell you anything. It went by in a flash. But my second year of teaching, a young student walked in, Brenda, 12-year-old African-American young woman. With her came a set of numbers, a set of statistics. She'd failed her classes in the past, hadn't passed her state exams, and if you were to check off every box you needed to check off that projected her future, those boxes led to a bleak future if we accepted those numbers and didn't see her for who she was, didn't see the opportunities that she truly had at her hands. She came into class, and for an entire year, we worked together, myself and the other teachers that taught her, to ensure that she had every opportunity to break the status quo. We worked with her mother as well. She came from a single-family household. And at the end of that year, despite what the numbers said should have happened to her, she did the exact opposite. She passed her state test, she proved the cynics wrong, and she broke the status quo. In Dallas ISD, there are hundreds of thousands of Brenda, and they all deserve an equitable education and an equitable opportunity to ensure that their hopes and dreams become a reality. So how do we do that? And how are we doing that today? 4 major things. The first thing is we have to have a serious conversation about the tough changes we know have to be made in our schools in order for Brenda to reach her dreams. What can we control? 100% instruction. And in Dallas ISD, we have had a laser-like focus on high-quality instruction. That's evidenced by our new teacher evaluation system, which for the first time truly measures the ability of our educators to provide a high-quality education. But we don't just stop there. For every increment of accountability we ask for our educators, we also need to provide them with an increment of support. Our evaluation system and our support system put that at the forefront of our district's mission. But we can't stop there. You play a role. In the areas that we cannot control, like poverty, we have to build partnerships. An evidence of this is our Imagine 2020 initiative, where we have worked with multiple community partners and community members to provide a wraparound service to our children. And the numbers are showing success. Students that went to Imagine 2020 schools are performing at a higher rate than they ever had before. The third thing that we have to do is we have to be honest about the numbers, and we've got to be willing to have a difficult conversation. Conversations that we as a city, I don't know, have ever truly had. Conversations about race. Conversations about equity. We cannot run from the numbers. Since 2008, we have cut the number of discipline referrals in Dallas ISD in nearly half. But that number still rests at over 30,000 discipline referrals. And our young African American and Hispanic males are being disproportionately impacted by our policy. So we have to do something about it, and we will. And then the fourth thing that we have to do is we have to remain asset-based. We have to view our students through the lens of the assets that they bring to us. The more that we try to make excuses for the situations that our students face, the worse our education system gets. Here's an example. In Dallas ISD, we have 161,000 students. 72% are Latino, and 30 to 40% are English language learners. We have a growing vacancy problem with our bilingual educators. We can't find them. So rather than go try to search for those educators, let's turn back to our students. They are the answer to our issues. They have the capacity to fill that gap. We have got to remain asset-based and asset-focused when it comes to our students. Let me close by saying this. We will not be able to move these numbers the way we need to move them, at the pace that we need to move them, unless everyone in this room continues to remain committed to the tough decisions, to working together, to having the difficult conversations, and to remain asset-based, and to not let the vitriol overrun what we know must happen for our kids. At one of my first board meetings, as I began to walk up to my seat, I was stopped with a tap on my shoulder. I turned around, and who was waiting for me? Brenda. She had just won a leadership award as a junior at her school. I asked her what was her plan for the future. She wanted to graduate, be the first in her family to do so. She wanted to go to college, be the first in her family to do so, and to make something of herself, to live up to the work that we had done when she was an 8th grade student. Don't tell me that our kids can't have the experience that Brenda had. It's up to us to step up and meet the challenge. And I ask you to join us in the work ahead.